All right, hey, shalom, shalom, shalom. First, I'm gonna give honors to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah, Kadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to all of our, to all you, Akim Aquat out there that follow Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. To all of our, to all you. All right, with truth and sincerity, I like to say shalom. This brother Ashemaiah. I'll make this quick lesson real quick. It's not gonna be very long. But the title of this lesson is going to be called "These Nations Are Not Our Friends." Okay, when you look at these 18 nations, what I'm about to show you, I'm going to share my screen real quick. Bear with me, I got allergies, so it's allergy season. So I'll be sniffing and, you know what I'm saying, sneezing, you know what I'm saying, just to get through this part of the season with allergies, man. But tissue at. There we go. 1 second. There we go. But Shalaki, now I feel clear. So that's what I was saying. When you look at these 18 nations, right? The head nation out of all the nations are the nation of Yasharala, aka Israel, right? Yasharala. But when you go down, so-called white man, Edom, East Indians, Elam, the Assyrians, Ashar, all right, the Syrians, I'll go back to nation Aram, Arabs, Ishmael, Chinese, Japanese, Ethiopians, the Hamite nations, from Ethiopians to South Africans, the Hamite nations, and the Japhite nations. Now, if we go from 1 to 8, you know, from so-called blacks, Latinos, Native Americans, and Seminole Indians, which is Yasharala, Israel, down to the Japanese. These are the Shemitic nations. Now, they're from the lineage of Shem. But minus Israel, from the so-called white man all the way down to the Japhite nations, these nations are not our friends, man. And there's many parts and accounts, many parts of history, conflicts and accounts of history that shows you that from the so-called white man, the Edomites, so all the way down to even to the Japhite nations, the Southeast Asian, Oceanic, Polynesian people are not our friends. We never were friends alongside with these nations, man. And we were never meant to make a covenant or a close relationship or a contract with these nations. All right, give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Slovakia. Gotta take my medicine, you know what I'm saying? Painkillers for my teeth. For, you know, like I said, a few days ago, a week ago, I went to my tooth extraction. My gums, my tooth is, you know, my gums are healing from the doctors extracting my tooth, you know, my cavity. So, you know, Shalaki, we heard all the rattle in the back. But back to I was saying, man, when you look at from the so-called white man all the way down to the Japhite nations, these are not of our, they're not chosen. None of these nations are chosen. Okay, from the head to the from the head to the toe down, you know what I'm saying? From head to toe, all right, from head to foot down, man. These people are spiritually they actually, matter of fact, they're spiritually dead. They don't have no form of spiritual connection to any form of God or power or divine being. From the so-called white man all the way down to the Japhite nations, they are spiritually dead. Okay, the only people that has a spirit that has a true connection, a true whatever you want to call it, acquaintance or close relationship to the supernatural or the divine powers that created all things is the nation of Israel. Okay, the so-called blacks, Latinos, Native Americans, Seminole Indians, West Indies, and Haitians, Caribbean Islanders, and many people that are Negroid and American Indian descent from their father's side. Okay. But outside of that, these other nations, they don't have no connection to the Most High Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. And but the main thing that inspired me to do this lesson was, and that shows you that we're underneath the curses, because even the higher ups are still oppressing and making fun of Jake. Okay, calling Jake all types of bywords. Okay, this is Zora Donnie, the mayor of New York City. Okay, his wife, before they, before they were married, his wife a few years ago, when she was 15 years old, said a lot of offensive things to so-called Negro people, man. So-called Negroes, man. Okay, so against black people. Okay. And that's the thing too. We're underneath these curses, man. Okay, we're underneath the curses of Deuteronomy 28. Play this real quick. And these nations, like I said, these 18 nations, man, we have no connection, no friendship, no form of acquaintance or closeness to them. The only thing that us and these nations have in common is just, lineage wise, we all came from Adam. Okay, we all came from Noah, man. Okay, but the Lord had a chosen people above all people that are upon the face of the earth, and that is Yasharala, Israel, not Israel the country. No, not them small hats. Israel's the so-called blacks, Latinos, Native Americans, Seminole Indians, West Indies, and Haitians, and Caribbean Islanders. Okay. Also, bear with me. It's 12 o'clock at night. I'm saying? I'm about to go to bed. So I'm super tired. It's been a very, very busy day. So, but I want to make this quick lesson real quick. All right. So I'm going to play this video real quick.
New York City Mayor Zohran Mamdani's wife, Rama, has deactivated an old X account after a series of posts in which she praises Palestinian terrorists, and one social media post that apparently shows her using the N-word have resurfaced. The account reportedly came down on Thursday, just one day after the Washington Free Beacon claimed to have her old posts. One of these X posts also shows she uses what appears to be an abbreviation of the F slur. Another social media post that the Washington Free Beacon apparently found shows the New York City First Lady allegedly using the N-word. She also blasted the U.S. military via Tumblr. You can pause to read right now. Mayor Mamdani defended his wife last week during a conference after she liked several anti-Israel posts about October 7th, 2023, and he told reporters she's a private citizen who has never held any position within his administration. We have reached out to Mamdani's reps for comment. So far, no word back.
Yeah, and a few years ago, she was 15 and she was just using she was basically saying nigga, okay, on Twitter. This is when Twitter was becoming popular. And I'm on Instagram. If not, I'm crazy, but I'm normal. I just come off as some dude said I do not agree with anything that Mamdani's wife said on Twitter, but the situation to be normalized because the Call of Duty generation is about to be old enough to run the office. But people there's people out there that's trying to defend her for what she said, like, oh, what she said was wrong. It was, she was just a kid, what I'm saying? Oh, she didn't know no better. Listen, these nations, they always can get away of marginalizing and oppressing Jacob. They can always get away of making fun of, all right, making Jake the laughing stock, making fun of Jake any way they want, oppressing Jake any way they want, and nothing happens to them. But now we're in a time where Yahweh Bashim Yahushai is putting the curses upon you nations, man. From Ishmael to Ham to Moab, but mainly Esau, Edom, man. Okay, and you can't get away. Hey, these tweets that this Ishmaelite woman that been saying, the mayor's wife, that's nothing, man. The Lord got records, man. The Lord remembers what Ishmael, Moab, Ammon, all these nations have done to us, shit like it was yesterday, man. But the main nation out of all the nations are you Edomites. The Lord remembers every single thing that you have said behind the curtains and even to our faces, and how you felt, man. What you did upon the so-called blacks, Latinos, Native Americans, and Seminole Indians. And all these nations that are using the N-word, they're following after Esau Edom. Okay? The so-called white man, the Caucasians, they're following after you. They're following after your wickedness. Okay? Even if you separate, even if you take Esau out the picture, these nations are wicked by nature, but still, they're still following the major. They're still following the major, the main leader of wickedness, the main leader of evil, and that is Esau Edom. Okay. So I'm not surprised that this woman, not this woman, but the mayor's wife of New York City, Rama Dawai. All right, that's not how that's probably how you pronounce her name. I'm not surprised, man. I'm not surprised that she said the N-word talking about Jake. Okay, because these nations, they want to be like Jake, and two, they want to talk like Jake, and they want to use the N-word like Jake. And they know that we're a special people, man. They know that we're a special people until Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. So Shalaki, if I'm rambling, I'm gonna play this video real quick.
Gee, Miss Ma'am, you know who's not shocked by the racist comments? Black Muslims. If you want to understand Ramadawaji's racist tweets, you have to understand that 1, she is a Syrian woman that spent part of her childhood in Dubai, and 2, racism in the Arab world is extremely normalized and it stems from a completely different slavery system. There are many Arabs today in the West who use the term abid, which translates to slave, yes, slave, and is used to describe basically anyone with dark skin. And there will be
Who is that speaking of? That's Ishmael that be saying that shit. Abid?
Basically anyone with dark skin.
Go back real quick.
Use the term abid, which translates to slave, yes.
Abid. Who they mainly talking about? They ain't talking about Elam. They ain't talking about Moab. They ain't talking about Japheth. They talking about Jake. Because we the main people that are oppressed, man. That's underneath the curses of Deuteronomy 28. Being scattered across the 4 corners of the earth, being put in chains around our necks, whips on our backs, man, because we went against Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai. Now these nations could say, talk, move, anything. They could do anything they want to do to us, man. She could be a Cushite. She got that Cushitic look, that Hamite look. But still, Cush, Edom, Moab, Japheth, these nations could do anything to us any way they like, man. And these little tweets, man, I was just going through the tweets. She just said nigga. But still, people were defending her. You know what I'm saying? Oh, she was just young. She was just 15 years old. And a lot of Jake was on TikTok was saying, like, when the fuck then these heathens, basically, they call them non-black people, but when the fuck did these heathens ever had why do these heathens have a racist phase where they was growing up, they always could say nigga. I hate niggers. I hate this, and I hate I hate fucking Spics. I hate Native Americans. I hate niggers the most because the Negro tribe, y'all the Southern Kingdom, so y'all get the most hate. All right, because the tribe Judah, is the head tribe. But why do these nations have, Jake was saying this on TikTok, why do these nations have a racist phase when they was growing up? When an Edomite boy growing up, he quick to say nigga. A so-called East Indian girl, quick to say nigga when she sees a Jake. Why? Because these nations hate it. One day they hate Jake because they're not chosen. These nations are not chosen. The eyes of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, the Lord ain't looking at these nations as something special or precious, man. He looks at them with pure disgust. They're less than nothing, man. And when they see Jake, they could tell that Jake is special because how the way we look, how the way we dress, and how the way we talk about our spirit, that we're a chosen people, that we're a holy people. These nations are angry because they're not chosen. They're not the peculiar people of Deuteronomy 7 and 6. All right, they're not the former of all things. They are the servants. And we're the princes. But the princes are now the servants because we went against Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Let me play this video. Shalakia, I feel like I'm just rambling because I don't know if I'm tired or I'm just exhausted, but let me play this video. Shalakia, Akim, and Akwath.
Slave, and is used to describe basically anyone with dark skin. And there will be people who try to convince you that racism doesn't exist in the Arab world because of Islam and because Prophet Muhammad's companion Bilal was black. But
and right, Islam is not the true culture. It's not the true religion. All right, the religion of peace, all that other bullshit. Islam is a false religion, man. That nigga Muhammad is an Edomite. You can read it in the book From Babylon to Timbuktu. From Babylon to Timbuktu. Muhammad took all them customs, the head cover, the masjid, all that, all the Islamic customs goes back truthfully to Israelites. Muhammad, he's an Edomite. If you actually check up the history, he's an Edomite. He's a colonizer. He's a culture vulture. You guys should read the book of From Babylon to Timbuktu. That dude, that dude did not stand. He did not. What was it? Because I was in Islam when I was younger. That nigga did not talk to the angels. That nigga was not on a Pegasus. All these Islamic cultures and religion, the whole Islamic religion, that shit is all Arabic mythology, man. And those that are Muslim that's going on, you know, that maybe going to hop on this video and say like, well, you don't know what you're talking about. Hey, man, I live in Philadelphia. Even Ishmael don't even take you black Muslims seriously, man. All you niggas that want to serve Islam, this whole Islam shit is bullshit. There's no difference from Christianity. Christianity is bullshit as well. All these religions, if you're not serving Yahweh Bashem outside, hey, all these religions and ideologies and beliefs are all bullshit.
let's be so fucking for real. History, who try to convince you that racism doesn't exist in the Arab world because of Islam and because Prophet Muhammad's companion Bilal was black. But let's be so fucking for real. History does not lie. So why is anti-blackness so normalized in Arab communities? Well, if we look at the history of systems of slavery in the Middle East, it isn't based on a capitalist model like in the US, where Black people are exploited to generate an agricultural resource that then would be used in this capitalist market. In the Arab world,
basically slavery. All right. She could just be a Cushite, but slavery. We were living tools. Judah was on the plantations, sun up to sundown, working. Benjamin, Levi, Gad, and Reuben. All right, all the 12 tribes were in some form of way, in shape or form of slavery, or conquered by this Edomite, by these heathens, man. If it wasn't, hey, America wouldn't be shit without us, man. Esau would say, let's make America great again. Hey, Jake made America great.
Most of the slavery was domestic. Some of it was forced military recruitment. There is a system called kafala, which represents the relationship between the employed and the employers. And many women from African countries are brought to these Arab countries for domestic labor, but then their passports are taken away. They're forced to work without pay. So this isn't modern slavery. This is legit slavery that is occurring today in many parts of the Arab world. And when we look at racism in the US, it's viewed as the enslavement of Black people by white people. In the Middle East, there were different parties, not just European, that were involved in the colonizing of these African territories. And
let me say this too, before American slavery was beginning, during that time in the 14th and 15th century, you had the Islamic slave trade, where Ishmael and Ham was putting hell upon our people, man. And the Lords were paying back, paying Ishmael back a nice present of missiles, man. That's why the Lord is bringing judgment on Ishmael, because Ishmael brought hell upon, mainly the southern kingdom in Africa, man, during that Islamic slave trade. You know how many Israelites were slaughtered, killed, murdered, heads chopped off, legs chopped off during the Islamic slave trade? Millions, man. And that's just the numbers that we know. That's how many casualties and genocides and massacres that these heathens have brought upon us throughout history, man.
See major resistance movements in the Arab world in the 19th century, like we saw in the US, because these African territories were like, don't come over here and colonize my shit, stay over there. For example, let's look at Egypt. When Egypt was just a territory of the Ottoman Empire, they invaded Sudan in 1820 as part of their play to become a regional empire. In the US, racism is heavily documented, legally, academically. There is education about racism, which isn't great, that is basically baked into our curriculums. And there are major resistance movements that you can point to. In the Arab world, there is no movement that you can point to that was on a similar scale, and it's rarely taught in schools. And this is because of the way slavery played out in the Middle East and the systems that exist today. So I say all of this to say, this is what feeds into why racism among these Arab communities is so normalized today and so heavily denied and even challenged. And before you come for my neck, I used to live in a community dominated by Arab people. I've experienced it, and I'm not saying all Arabs are racist, okay? It's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying there is an issue that people need to talk about. And you need to stop gaslighting people into thinking that this isn't a problem. That's all. Rama Dua.
Well, let me take this back. She could be a Jake, but she could be, let me take back what I said. She could be a Jake, but she got that Cushitic look. We're going to see in the kingdom, because our people are scattered amongst them Cushites, man, them Ethiopians, Somalians, Eritreans, stuff like that. But this one, TikTok, I was just rethinking, like, she could be a Jake. I was wrong on that. But this TikTok comment said, I went to high school with a lot of West Asians, Ishmaelites, mainly Iraq. They called me Abid Abid. It wasn't until I was older or around junior, senior year that I figured out what they were saying and stopped that shit. Okay. And Prophet Muhammad, no, he was an Edomite. Shalaki, I don't know why I got here. That was by accident.
Rama Dwaji, Miss Ma'am. You know who's not?
Let me see. Yeah, man. These nations, they're not our friends, man. Okay, none of these nations that we share this planet with, all right, that's standing on our planet. Hey, they're none of our friends, man. They're our enemies, man. Okay, and that woman, Rama Tajid, I think that's how I pronounce it. She could she's an Ishmaelite. All right. And saying something that you said 15 years ago doesn't change who you are now, man. She might feel the same way about Jake. What was that video I just saw? Oh, there it is. This is the one I saw.
Why is it that every non-Black...
No, this is it.
Why is it that every non-Black person has a racist face? Like, what is it giving?
Not a racist face, like your face. No, phase. Like, example, I'm going through my emo phase. I'm going through a certain phase. All right. PHASE, phase. All right, not your face. So don't get the subtitles, don't let the subtitles.
Why is it that every non-Black person has a racist face? Like, what is it given? So now Mayor Mamdani, Zoran Mamdani, his wife Rama Mamdani, she have some racist tweets that resurface, and people like, oh, she was young, she was only 16, she was 15. I wouldn't give a damn, because when I experienced racism at 15 and 16, it traumatized me. It still sticks with me to this day. When I was on the receiving end of being called racial slurs and experiencing racism as a kid, the first time I ever experienced that, I was in elementary school. I remember I was in Times Square, and I don't know where exactly we were taken to, but I do know that we went to McDonald's, and I was with my class. We were in McDonald's, and there was some white women there, and she called us all a bunch of little niggers. Oh, get these little niggers out of here. There's too many little niggers in here. Because we were like walking up the stairs. Like, if you've ever been to Times Square, you know it's like a huge
You
McDonald's.
see? Damn, you had a fucking McDonald's, and these heathens just, which that shit was pollution anyway. But you know, she was, like she said, she was a kid, but still, you can't even eat in an establishment. And these heathens are quick, mainly Esau, were quick to vex your ass, man, to say some shit like that. One, why would you think of something like that to say to a group of kids like that? You never see a Jake walk up to a group of Edomite kids and say, God, you know, some racist shit like that. All right. You blonde hair and blue eyed devils, guy at McDonald's. You never hear Jake say something like that. But these heathens, they're always come at our necks, man. They're quick to come at us. Yo, I can't wait when Yahweh Bashim Yahushua unleashes from these curses, man. Because once the Lord unleashes from these curses, it's game over for you heathens, man. And Shalaki, if I'm standing stuttering, I'm all over the place, or my mind is a little, scrambled. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, this is a late, late lesson. You know what I'm saying? I just want to do this lesson now because tomorrow I don't think I have the time or the energy to do this lesson. So I want to do this lesson now. So Shalaki, if I'm all over the place, man, and I pray that this lesson is edifying to those that are tuning in.
There. Anyways, I remember that, and I probably was 10 or 11 years old. That stuck with me. So if it could still affect me, why do you get a pass for being the perpetrator? Why do you get a pass for enacting said racism or throwing out racial slurs just because of your age? Like, I'm tired of people. What is this? Is it a rite of passage to have a racist phase? Like, I'm really confused. Why is it that every white person or every Suedo person of color, because some of them still be white, they just got a different cultural background, different ethnic. Anyways, that's another story for another day. Why is it that they get a pass for having a racist? Like, is it like going through puberty that you all just have a nigga pass? Like,
now I'm gonna grab that scripture. This is Ezekiel 35:5. Actually, I'm gonna grab this. This is Psalms 58:3. The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they are born, speaking lies. Right? When the wicked are born, they have a perpetual natural hatred towards Jacob. And who are the wicked? The Edomites. Are also the other nations, but mainly the Edomites, man. Because the other nations are wicked, but the major wicked nation of all the nations are the Edomites, so-called white people. Okay, and not all white people are Edomites. A lot of them go back to Jake. There are our people. But if your lineage go back to so-called white men, all right, go back to the lineage of Esau Edom, or the father of the Caucasian race, by your father's side, by your father's lineage, then you're Edomite. No matter if you look black, white, Asian, all right. If your lineage go back to Esau Edom by your father's lineage, you're Edomite, and you're born wicked. Okay, you can't make something that's wicked good. You can't make something that's crooked straight, man. These Edomites, they're born to hate Jake. That's on their mind is to hate Jake. That's on their mind and the spirit to oppress and marginalize and make fun of Jake. Okay, and they had that perpetual hatred, man. This is Ezekiel 35:5. Because thou hast perpetual hatred and has shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end, right? This man has perpetual hatred. Or even Eve said that, like, why do white people have this racist phase towards Jacob? And it's not a phase. It's not something that he's just temporarily just going through. No, this is in their spirit to hate Jake. They're jealous of Jake. They envy Jake. Okay, they want to destroy Jacob, man, like their forefather. And this all goes back to, the covenant, the blessing, man. When Esau saw this blessing, he realized he fucked up. He messed up, and he's doing everything in his power to get that blessing back. That blessing back, he can never, and guess the thing, he's never going to get it back. So he has great hatred for his brother Jacob to this day. Even his own descendants, his own children, has hatred towards the nation of Israel, the nation of Yasharallah. So this is not a black and white thing. I mean, yeah, in a sense, yeah, but it's more about lineage and by spirit wise. Okay, because Esau, he can hang around, and it's not a color thing as well, because Esau can hang around them Hamites. And them Hamites they quick to hang with, they quick to bow down to Esau, eat them. But when Esau is around Jacob, Esau blood boils, man, because that perpetual hatred, that everlasting hatred that he has towards the nation of Yasharallah, so-called blacks, Latinos, Native Americans. That's why when he sees you, he's so quick to call you a nigger, a spit, a porch monkey. Okay, and it goes back to the curses. Grab this real quick. It's Deuteronomy 28:37. And thou shalt become an astonishment, a byword, like a proverb and a byword among all nations, whether the Lord shall lead thee, right? And the Esau Edom not the only one calling you a nigger. All the nations are following after Esau Edom. So they're calling you a nigger. They calling you a slave or a porch monkey. Okay, Ishmael, what that word abid, which means slave, or Ham called Jake here in America, a kata means cotton picker, man. Okay. Even those Japhites that's in them Polynesian islands, them Polynesians, aka them Japhites, they hate Jake, but they want to be like Jake so bad, man. They be playing reggae music, but quick to say the word nigga, man. And when they see a Jake, they like, ugh. They feel disgusted. But you nations, man, the Lord sees you as something disgusting, man. Abominable. Y'all the true proverb and byword, an astonishment, an abomination. But the reason why we're called a nigga, a spick, a wetback, a Native American, an Indian, a savage, because the curses, man. It's a temporary. We going through a temporary punishment. Once we're unleashed from this temporary punishment, this punishment is going to be going to be upon you heathens, man. Deuteronomy 30:7. Let me grab that real quick. All right, this is Deuteronomy 30:7. And the Lord thy God will put all these curses upon thy enemies and on them that hate thee, which persecute thee. Right. The curse of Deuteronomy 28 is going to be upon all of our enemies. You know what's funny? The curses were on us for a temporary time. And once we're unleashed, we're going to be perfect, immortal, and receiving everlasting salvation forever. The curses are going to be upon all the heathen nations forever, man. There's not going to be no God to save them. There's not going to be no Messiah figure to save them. They're going to be going through the curses for the rest of for all existence, man. In the kingdom of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Okay? Ishmael, if they are Ishmael, because, Like I said, people are scattered, but I'm gonna claim them for Ishmael for right now. Hey, Ishmael, Moab, Ammon, Elam, all these nations are they're gonna realize that they're nothing, man. They're less than nothing. Let me grab this real quick. This is Isaiah 40 and 15. Right. This is Isaiah 40 and 15. Behold, the nations are a drop of a bucket and are counted as a small dust of the balance. Behold, he had taken up the isles as a very little thing. Right. The nations, these 18 nations, from the Shemitic nations minus Israel, the Hamitic nations, the Japhite nations, are less than nothing. They're just a drop of shit. Even, hey, if you think about it, horse shit is more valuable than fucking than these nations. Because you know, if you do your research, horse shit is a fertilizer. But these nations, man, they're nothing, man. They're less than nothing. Hey, in the kingdom, a spider's gonna have more life. A spider's gonna have more rights than a fucking Edomite. Elamite, a Asharite, Slakia, a Moabite, an Ammonite. These nations, man, they're nothing. Aziyah, Bashim Shai. They're dust. They're like unto spittle, as it says in Edris, man. Less than nothing. I'm grabbing that. These nations are that's the same scripture. Now it says the phrase nations are less than nothing come from the Bible in Isaiah 40:17, which describe all worldly nations are insignificant compared to the power of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. It says the passage suggests that the human governments, and not just human governments, the actual nations themselves, races of people, and their strength are worthless, vanity, and less than nothing in the face of divine power. All right, but that's going off a little bit. But the nations, the so-called white man, all right, the East Indian man, all right, the Assyrian man, woman and child, the Syrian man, woman and child, the Arabic man, woman and child, Chinese, Japanese, Ethiopians, Egyptians, them black ass Sudanese, man, North Africans, South Africans. Okay, them Hamites in South Africa, that doesn't go back to our people because a lot of South Africans are Jakes. You know what I'm saying? That I'm a piano South African Cape Town life. That's all Jake. But the Hamites down in South Africa are the Japhite Polynesian Islanders, the Southeast Asian Aborigines of Australia. Okay, those are Japhites, man. All these nations are less than nothing. But in this world, these nations think they're at the pinnacle of perfection, excellence, and the standard. And the main nation that thinks that way is Esau, Edom. And these nations think that they're better than you, that they're better than the so-called black, Latino, Native American, Seminole Indian man, woman, and child. But that's the opposite. We're better than them. Okay, and the Lord's going to show that. The Lord's going to show the world that he has a chosen people, and the chosen people has been marginalized for 500 plus years, about to get an upgrade. So we're not going to be called a nigga, all right, or black in the kingdom, man. We're going to be called the children of Yasharallah, man. Play this real quick.
I know for sure that you learn this in your household. You learn this at home. So it's not even like, oh, I was just following my friend. No, a lot of you all are just like that. A lot of anti-blackness is rampant in you all's community. And this is why I remember doing a couple of videos, not a short while back. And I was like, damn, I feel like, since my content has kind of just transformed and mutated in what it is now naturally, I feel like I've been going up against the whole entire goddamn world. And then, I hear these stories about, Black Americans literally had to go to war with 7 nations. I'm like, damn, so we get it from everybody. Everybody is anti-Black. as a collective. Now, on an individual level, of course, there's some people that's cool that, you know, love Black Americans, that are our friends, you know, some of them are integrated into our families, whatever, so on and so forth. But as a collective, everybody is like anti-Black. They saying the N-word, their parents are racist. Why is it that every
Yeah,
non-Black...
it's not anti-Black, it's anti-Yasharala. Okay, it's anti-Israel. When I mean Israel, I'm not speaking of the country Israel, the true Israelites. It's anti-Yaquab, anti-Jacob, man, anti-12 tribes. Shit, these nations are Yahweh Shai, man. Okay, they want to destroy the nation of Israel for good, man. That's their plan. This is Psalms 83, a song or Psalms of Sop. Keep now thou silent, O Yahweh, hold not thy peace, and be still, O Yahweh. Be not still, O Yahweh. For lo, thy enemies make a tumult. They hate thee that have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come, let us cut them off from being a nation. What nation they talking about? The nation of Yasharallah, man, Israel, man. That's why these nations, they be putting guns, drugs, okay, abortion clinics, gun stores, all right, backwood, Nike sneakers in our hoods, man. These big ass corporations in our hoods to keep us at a low state and destroy us as a nation, permanently, man. It says that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance, for they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee, the tabernacles of Edom, so-called white people, and the Ishmaelites, Arabs, of Moab, the Chinese, the Hagarenes, more Arabs, are Gabal, which I believe they're of Ham, the Hamites. Okay, hold on, let me check my phone real quick. We'll make sure. Yeah, they were. I believe they were Hamites because that's where Tyre and Sidon were located at. Gabal, which are Ham, and Ammon, the so-called Japanese, Amalek, the Jayish people, are the tiny tops, the Philistines, Hamites, so-called Africans, and the inhabitants of Tyre, more Africans, Asar, the Assyrians, also joined with them, and they have helping with the children of Lot, all right, so-called Moab and Shalaki. The children of Lot are Moab and Ammon, the so-called Chinese and Japanese. These nations, even the Japhite nations, they want to destroy Israel as a whole. But guess what? The Lord is going to destroy them, all right, with the great destruction, man. This is Zechariah 1:15. I am very sore displeased with the heathen that are at ease, for I was but a little displeased, and they have helped for the affliction. Okay, so the Lord is very displeased with the heathen, man. Okay, the heathen went far too much when they went way too far when they was whooping our asses, man. Because the Lord was using the heathen for a whipping stick because we was going off, man. And the main heathen is Esau, Edom. Let me grab this in the GNT. Yep, this is Zechariah 1:15. I am very angry with the nations that enjoy in quiet and peace. For I was holding back my anger, all right, against my people, Israel. Those nations made the suffering of my people worse. So I have come back to Jerusalem to show my mercy to the city. My temple will be restored and the city will be rebuilt. And the angel also told me to proclaim the Lord Almighty say that his cities will be prosperous again. He will once again help Jerusalem and claim the city as his own. Okay, and that's what's going to happen in the kingdom of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Okay, who is Jerusalem? Who is New Jerusalem? Us, the people. The city is a people before it's a place. Well, I mean us, the whole full life, man. Lord is building us back up. The Lord is bringing us back to to as being princes and princesses of the power, man. And while we're doing that, the heathens are receiving the curses. And we'll read this again. All right. Grab this Deuteronomy. All right, this Deuteronomy start at 30:1. And it come to pass when all these things are come upon thee, the blessing and the curse I have set before thee. Check the battery real quick. I'm putting it off here. Shlocky. And it says, and thou shalt call them to mind among all nations, whether the Lord had driven thee. The Lord shall, it says, and shall return unto the Lord thy God, and shall obey his voice according to all that I have commanded thee this day. Knowing thy children with all thine heart, with all thy soul, then the Lord thy God will turn thy captivity and have compassion upon thee. Right. And how is that? How is the Lord having passion upon us, compassionate upon us? Shalakia. Shalakia. Like I said, man, going through these allergies, man. Took everything, allergies, the allergy syrup, I'm saying the pills and stuff like that. I'm just waiting for the kick in. But how is the Lord having compassion upon us? Okay, it's that he showed his word, his name. We know the name of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. We understand the words of the Lord. To understand the 100% of the Bible through our teachers, the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. That's compassion. The Lord didn't have to do that for us, man. He could have left us out here being 2/3 niggas. But he gave us this golden opportunity to serve him, man. Okay. It says, when we return and gather thee from all the nations, whither the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushua thy God has scattered thee. And if any of them, it says, if any of thine been driven out unto the uttermost parts of heaven, from thence will the Lord thy God gather thee, and from thence will he fetch thee. Right, the Lord's going to gather us from all the nations. Wherever nation that we're scattered amongst, from Moab, Ammon, Esau, Edom, Japheth, the Lord's going to gather us, man. He's going to bring us back to the land of Yasharallah through the chariots, and we're going to come back down with them brand new bodies. All right, 5. The Lord thy God will bring thee into the land which thy fathers possessed, and thou shalt possess it, and he will do thee good and multiply thee above thy fathers. Right, we're gonna be fruitful and multiply in the kingdom, man. You think Israel's a large nation now? They ain't nothing. That's a small grain of salt compared to how many Israelites gonna be in the kingdom. Trillions of Israelites, man. Beyond billions, there's gonna be trillions of Israelites. Like the sand of the sea, man. Like literal sand of the sea. Go to the beach, man, and try to Shalaki. Go to the beach, man, trying to number all the sand, man. It's impossible. That's how it's going to be with the nation of Israel, man. There's going to be billions of Judites, man. Billions of Benjaminites, Levites. All right, billions of Reubenites, Gadites, Asherites, Manassites, Simeonites, man. Issacharites, all the Zebulonites, Naphtaliites, all the tribes, man. Ephraimites. Billions of Israelites throughout throughout the universe, man. And beyond. Okay, that's that part of that beautiful blessing, man. All right, 30%. All right, I'm gonna end off here. I'm trying to end off, trying to be quick, but also, be edifying as well. It says, the Lord thy God will bring thee into the land which thy fathers possess. Come on, man. I know. And thou shalt possess it, and he will do thee good and multiply thee above thy fathers. The Lord thy God will circumcise thy heart and the heart of thy seed to love the Lord thy God with all thy heart and with all thy soul, and thou mayest live. How is that? Through them brand new bodies. Because we can't do that in this fleshly body, because we constantly go off, even when we want to do righteousness, man. This is 7. The Lord thy God will put all these curses upon thy enemies, and on them that hate thee, which persecute thee. And that's what's happening as we speak. The Lord is causing division amongst these nations. And when they're divided, they're going to fall, man. Okay? And while they're falling, we're rising, man. We're about to see the beginning of Jacob's world happening as we speak, right before our eyes. And we're also seeing the fall of Esau, Edom, and the world of the Gentiles, seeing their world crumble, man, while ours about to begin. And this bitch, hey, if she going to slavery, man. If she's an Ishmaelite, you know what I'm saying? I believe she's an Ishmaelite, but she going to slavery, man. And her fucking Ishmaelite husband. All right, you heathens, man. Y'all can say all this type of shit. They're on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. All right. And people was going through her old Twitter, man, just to see that she was, you know, this kind, nice woman. Nah, man, these heathens still feel the same way. They still feel the same way about you Jakes, man. So what do they got? They smiling, they nice, they holding hands, saying kumbaya. These nations still fucking hate you, man. On the low. These nations are not our friends, man. And the curses are hopping on them, man. And we're about to rise, man. We're about to be the top nation on the planet, on the planet Earth, man. All right, so Shalak came from all over the place, man. Hope this lesson was very edifying. All right, so with that, call Allah Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai Bahashim Rakah Kadash. Shalom.